Hi everyone, welcome to this newest video. I'm at the Cloud Foundry Summit 2017 in Basel, and let me show you around to get you a quick overview of one of the coolest tech conferences I've been to this year. In an interview with cloud native rockstar Joshua McKenty, our very own Ruud Keizer asked him about PKS, so the Pivotal container service, and what it means for Cloud Foundry in general.
We're here with Josh McKenty from Pivotal.
How's it going?
So, given the recent exciting announcements about the Pivotal container services or the container runtime in Cloud Foundry, do you think that right now the Cloud Foundry platform is complete, as in serving all use cases across all the layers of abstraction?
I think it's complete for everything that's happened in IT to date. So I think if you look at heritage or legacy workloads and you look at next generation cloud native workloads, I think it serves all of that really well. The last two categories that I don't think any cloud native platform really addresses well yet are true serverless or function as a service, particularly a operatable model for that. So not just, hey, can it come up fast and shut down quickly, but is there a debugging paradigm around that as those get built out at scale? And I really see functionless being popular for data microservices, and particularly around next generation kind of machine learning technology. And then the last one would be HPC and modeling workloads. So anything today that relies on access to a GPU or a custom FPGA. And typically, these are trusted workloads run at massive scale with very steady state, and usually on very large server farms, often private data center. So I'm not sure that that's ever going to be a target for the cloud native community, but it's certainly something we've had interest from customers who've been trying to figure out how to do that with a mix of Cloud Foundry or with Kubo, with the container service.
Okay. And are you at all worried about, because of these new offerings, cannibalism on the traditional Cloud Foundry application runtime use case?
Not really. I mean, the way we see the split evolving so far is pretty straightforward. One is by workload, right? So if you're writing custom software, particularly if you're writing enterprise applications or customer-facing applications, Cloud Foundry is the natural target. The application runtime is the most reasonable place to go run those. Where we see the container service really having popularity is for ISVs, for partners that are packaging really what used to be called COTS, I think is going to end up being called, rather than commercial off the shelf, it's container off the shelf. So that's pretty logical. And the other is by team, right? So if you have a really scaled up Fortune 500 type enterprise developer workforce, hundreds, thousands of developers, again, the application runtime is giving you an environment that's massively multi-tenant, that has very standardized interfaces for authentication, authorization, logging, monitoring at scale. And so you really get those operational benefits from adopting that platform. And then if you have, often we see at scale, as soon as you have like hundreds of devs using application runtime, you'll see a dedicated team emerge around your service brokers, around some of your next generation services, the sort of experimental, what are we doing for machine learning, what are we doing for modeling, and they're interested in taking advantage of these sort of raw container Kubernetes primitives. So I see that kind of split of, in particularly scaled out Cloud Foundry users of 80-90% of the workload really lands well on application runtime. There's other categories that land very natively on the container runtime. So I don't think there's a ton of confusion. I don't see folks who are very happy today with Cloud Foundry going, oh, well now we're going to suddenly stop using all of what we've gotten value out of and shift to a lower level primitive. But I do think the partner ecosystem has been very excited because you can do things with a Kubernetes pod in terms of custom network topology and affinity that it's really hard to do inside Cloud Foundry without building kind of a custom data service around the Bosch deployment.
This was the 4th video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.